Hello, everyone. It's very glad to come here to become a speaker again. So yesterday I also shared, I came here 5 years ago. So the organizer invited me to as a speaker 5 years ago. So at that moment, I also shared the topics about DevSecOps. But 5 years ago, I just started to do the DevSecOps. But after 5 years, you can see, I'm still working on this, but it's become more mature. Yeah, sorry. So this is the reason today the topic is more about the further shift left. For the DevSecOps, we said we shift left, the cybersecurity from the traditional way to the development teams. But why we call further shift left? Yeah. Okay, just give you some introduction about myself. My name is Jihai. Actually, my major was not about the IT before. My major was about mobile communications. So if you use your mobile, it was my major. I did research on 4G before, a long time ago. Now it's 5G and 6G now. It's out of date. Yeah. But after I graduate, finish my PhD, and joined the bank and started to do the IT. And I started from a developer, the C++ developer, and then working on the DevOps. So far, it's more than 10 years, or probably 15 years on the DevOps world. Like I mentioned, 5 and 6 years ago, I started to work on the DevSecOps. So at the moment, it was a hot topics. Yeah, we integrated cybersecurity into the DevOps. Because I have this experience, 3 years ago, actually, I have the first book in China about DevSecOps. So I'm the author for this book. It was the first book in China regarding DevSecOps. But now, I think in China, we have probably 3 or 4 books about DevSecOps so far. Also, in previous years, I also joined different, this conference to share my experience, similar to today. Oh, sorry. This one? Oh, this one. Okay, so here are the contents I'd like to share today. Firstly, let's give a short talk about, from the DevOps to DevSecOps. I think probably many people know this already. Next, I will talk about, let's say, from the enterprise level, because I'm working at the banks like HSBC, Barclays Bank, it's quite a big bank. I'm also working in Tencent, also have many people. So what's the DevSecOps model if you like to implement DevSecOps in the enterprise level? Also, the DevSecOps, the key part for DevSecOps, we call shift left. I think yesterday we had the panel discussion regarding the shift left, right? Shift left is cybersecurity. So how we can shift left cybersecurity to the development path. And then the key one is how we can further shift left the cybersecurity to the architecture design level, so even left. Okay, so I think I will not talk too much about this. I think many people know the DevOps already. Yeah, so this from 2009 we start to talk about DevOps, and here I just list some key elements which I believe is very useful for the key part for DevOps, like whatever agile methodology or CI/CD and automation. This continuous feedback, microservice, something like that. Okay, and I think people also know what is DevSecOps. I think this is a very typical diagram from Gartner. So you can see the cybersecurity should cover all the process about DevOps. And also, we normally see the DevSecOps means everyone should be responsible for cybersecurity, not only the cybersecurity department. Yeah, because normally, traditionally, we only rely on the cybersecurity department to help out to protect the company. But DevSecOps means everyone should respond for that. Yeah, but why we do that? So I know some people probably working on DevSecOps, but they may never think about why we do that. And also some people may know in Microsoft they have another concept called SDL. So it's similar to DevSecOps, right? Yeah. But here I use a very simple diagram to show why we do the DevSecOps. The main reason, because we are working on DevOps. Because DevOps help us to speed up, become more faster, right? Once we become faster, then you can see the cybersecurity become a problem. So you can let's take this example. So you can see the picture. The one on the top, let's see the traditional development process. That's one example. So we take like 3 weeks for the requirement, design, coding, and testing. Just one example, 3 weeks. So once it's ready for deployment, we go to the cybersecurity teams to do the cybersecurity assessment, right? Because we can't take vulnerabilities online. Then the hacker will attack you, right, if you have vulnerabilities. So we have to go through a cybersecurity team to do assessment. Let's say it takes 1 week. So the whole delivery time is 3 + 1, 4 weeks. Yeah, for the traditional, the one on the top. Let's say the one in the middle, we call it the DevOps process. So by using whatever agile methodology, the CI/CD automation, microservice design, by using different approach, yeah, you can see we can make it shorter. We can make the whole development process from 3 weeks to 1 week. Just one example. Yeah, so this is what we said DevOps make our faster. But the traditional DevOps, it didn't consider a lot for cybersecurity. Then you can see for DevOps process, what's the bottleneck? It's cybersecurity assessment, right? This is bottleneck now. Yeah, they stop you go faster. So the DevSecOps means we need to make this cybersecurity assessment period shorter. How to do that? We shift left. We make the cybersecurity team to work. We shift left to the development team. Yeah, this is the reason why we should do a DevSecOps, because we do DevOps and cybersecurity become the bottleneck. Okay, I spent 2 minutes to explain why we do this. Because even in my company, people working on DevSecOps, but they never think about why we should do this. They just do it, but they never know why we do it. So I just explain to you, just use this simple example. Okay, so even we try to, DevSecOps is really good, it gives a lot of benefits, make our faster, make our safer. But then, it's still very challenging if you like to implement in your company. So I summarize this into 2 big areas. I think technically, the technical challenge, later I'm going to talk about some technology and tools. I think for this area, it's not a big issue. Sometimes when I talk to my team, I said, any technical issue is not a real issue, because you can solve it. But the next one, for the people part, is a challenge. I think yesterday we also talked about, the DevSecOps, shift left. Yeah. So for the people part, it's a very challenge. And the people is also our final goal. Yeah. So because you need to change people's mindset. So what's the blocker for this? Because, one thing is, for our developer, they are working on the software, the design software. But when they have the skills on software design, doesn't mean they have the skills on cybersecurity. They are different subjects. So you have to learn this from beginning. Yeah, when we shift left, for DevOps, we shift left the testing to the developer. We shift left the support, the operation to the developer. So the developer can do like a unit test, can do the support. But this is also within the scope about the software engineering. But cybersecurity is a totally different object. So I think, when I try to promote DevSecOps in our company, I found the challenge is it definitely takes people time to learn this cybersecurity. Yeah. And also, I think for development teams, their major work is for the business delivery. Yeah, the developer produce a new feature, a new function. For DevOps and cybersecurity, it's not their high priority work to do. So this is something, the challenge, people have to take the effort, to do this. And also, yesterday we also talked about, in the panel discussion, we also talked about how to get the support from senior management to do a DevSecOps. I think this is also very important. Without the support from senior management, it's very challenging. if you do this from bottom to top, it's super challenge. I did this before. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's say I give you a very simple model. Means like what you need to do if you like to implement DevSecOps in your company. I think definitely the first one, the tool. I think yesterday I also talked about the cybersecurity tools help us to find the problem from different aspects. For example, from your source code, yeah, from the web, from third party, from the infrastructure. You know, we have the tools, right, to scan the vulnerability from many different aspects. So the next one, yesterday we also talked about the metrics. Yeah, the metrics help you to visualize the problem. Yeah, because for example, if your tools help you to find the problem, but it's only you know the problem. Do you have only too much motivation to fix them? So we need to visualize this. So publish this information, give people more motivation to fix this. And also the one in the middle is a very important one, the cybersecurity capability. So yesterday I also mentioned about the tools. I think DevSecOps tools is slightly different from DevOps tools. DevOps tools can help us to do the automation, make our faster, save the effort. But DevSecOps tools, most of DevSecOps tools, they can only help you to find vulnerabilities. They can't help you to fix vulnerabilities. So most of the vulnerabilities still need to be fixed by the people. So you can imagine if your developers don't have enough skills to fix vulnerability, even your tools scan like 100 vulnerabilities, you can just look at this but can't fix them because their skills is not good enough, right? So this is serious, right? You can't use your eye to kill them, right? So the capability is very important, but this is something, I know many managers, they just ignore it, yeah. Okay, so in order to implement this, again, I think I taught this already. 3 steps. Firstly, we need the tools to find the problem. Like I said, from many different angles, source code, web, third parties, they may have many different vulnerabilities. The next one, visualize them by using dashboard. The third steps, train your people by using different approach. I think yesterday I shared, we can use the hacking, as a developer to do hacking. Then they will know the impact of the vulnerability to their business. Otherwise, if the vulnerability is there but nothing happened, they don't have too much motivation to do it. Okay, so you have a different approach to train your team for them to have enough awareness and skills. So here, in my company, when I talk to my senior manager, I like to say, regarding the capability, there are 2 things. One we call awareness, cybersecurity awareness. One we call cybersecurity skills. They are different. Awareness means if you have enough awareness and knowledge, when you do a design, when you do a coding, you try to avoid more vulnerabilities, which means you produce less and less vulnerabilities. Yeah. So you can coding in a secure way, design in a secure way. So for the skills means for existing vulnerabilities, for the tools scan hundreds of vulnerabilities, you have enough skill to fix them. So there are 2 different concepts regarding capabilities. Okay, so this is how we operate. Because in my company, we work close with the cybersecurity department. So we need these different people like DevSecOps lead and also the cybersecurity teams. The cybersecurity team normally they provide support, whatever tools, and also the training, the consultancy. But I think the final goal is for our development teams. Yeah, for them to improve their skills and also to find the problem and fix problem. Okay, so before. This is more about when you try to implement your company, some area you need to consider. So next, how we can shift left to the development stage. So like I mentioned, the different tools. I think many people know this already. We call SAST, DAST, AST, FOSS for different area. And for different technology, in the market, they have different products, like check marks, like Fortify, they have different famous products. I will not talk too much about this. Again, the technology and tools, it help us to find vulnerabilities. And also, if you have tools, we need to integrate them into the CI/CD pipeline to automate the process. Yeah, so similar to DevOps, we need to automate everything. I think if you work on this already, we need to integrate this with our CI like Jenkins pipeline, to make your cybersecurity scanning more automated. Okay, the dashboard, like I mentioned, we definitely need some dashboard, but how to get data is a problem. How to make the data accurate is another problem. So if you have all these scanning tools at one platform, then it will be easy to gather the data. Okay, so next one is cybersecurity training. So like I mentioned, we need to get our developer to know more on cybersecurity. So in the future, I think developers, they can't just do the coding. They should know how to coding in a security way. So I think for the company, you need to have enough training for the people for different aspects like security coding, security testing, pen testing, threat modeling, something like that. Okay, this is something I mentioned yesterday. So you can use, change to another side. For developers, they are more like a defense. They coding in a security way. But why they should do this? Change their way to a hacker way. If they can hack their application successfully, then they will know how serious it is. Otherwise, they may never know. I think this is something maybe you can try, but it should be under your policy. All right? If your company doesn't allow to do this, don't do it. But if your company is okay, try to do it. Then this can get the developer the mindset to know, okay, how serious it is for the vulnerabilities. Okay, we also try to run many competitions, give people the practical opportunity, to try their security coding. Okay, so this is more about how we, like I mentioned, within 5 years, we work on DevSecOps. We mainly work on how we shift left the cybersecurity to the development process, like coding stage, testing stage. This is called development stage. So I think next one, we are thinking how we can even protect our product better. Like, I think probably you see some pictures. If you find your bugs or problem earlier, then the cost will be less, right? If you find your problem, the bugs probably at the coding stage, testing stage, and production stage, if you find them and fix them earlier, then it saves the cost. Similar to the cybersecurity. If you can do this earlier, then save you a lot of effort. So before the coding, it's more about the architecture design. So this is more about the threat modeling stage. So traditionally, we rely on the cybersecurity team to do this for us. But now, we try to shift left to dev teams. So firstly, I'd like to share this, this is OWASP Top 10. I'm not quite sure how many people are aware of this. So OWASP Top 10 is, I think, is also a community. Every 3 or 4 years, based on their research, they will publish the top 10 vulnerabilities, which is the most easy to be attacked. So you can see the latest one is from 2021. Compared with the older one in 2017, you can see that the new one, the number 4, I think, yeah, it's called insecurity design. So you can see with the time, the design stage become more and more important. Before, we probably didn't consider too much about the cybersecurity at design level, but with the latest one, it's even become the top 4 in security design. Okay, and some people may ask me why we should do this at the architecture design level, right? So I think I told this already. If you can find any problem earlier, then it saves you more cost. For example, if you in your design, in your system design, in your diagram, if you do have some thread, for example, when you set up your database, for example, your asset management, if you didn't have some user management, this a scheme, if you didn't have this at the design level, you can't fix at the coding level. So this is something, when we design, for example, we designed the whole building. If the design got some problem, when people to implement, it can't fix the problem. So this is the reason, we like to see how we can avoid some risk at early stage. This is the reason why we even call further shift left to the architect design level. Okay, I'm not quite sure you can see this clearly. This is the whole thread modeling steps. Yeah, the one on the right is the traditional model, and the one on the left is our DevSecOps model. So what's the difference? So you can see on the left, only the step 0, the architecture design documentation. Only this step is a manager. It's done by the development teams, and all other steps, the asset management identification, the diagram update, especially the step 3 and step 4, system analysis, threat detect, it's all done by the cybersecurity teams. Yeah, for the threat modeling stage, the architect design. But now we will try to shift left to the development teams, so you can see the difference. Yeah, from step 0 to step 2, even step 4, I think, step 0 to step 2 is done by the dev teams, the development teams. And also, step 3 and step 4, we also try to introduce some tools be used by the dev teams to do some threat modeling assessment automatically. And finally, we probably still need to cybersecurity team to double check. Because tools, it's not the people. Sometimes tools also cause problem. Yeah, so we still need the cybersecurity team at step 5 and step 6 to verify any issues. But you can see from traditional way to our DevSecOps way, the 7 steps, we shift left 5 steps to development teams. Okay. So how to make it happen? Like I mentioned in the previous steps, you can see the green one, the step 3 and step 4, they are the key part. They are the steps to do the assessment for your design, to see whether or not you have the threat or the risk in your design. So it's done by the tools. Similar to we shift left the cybersecurity to our development process. We have the SAST tool, DAST tool, right? FOSS tool. Similar, for the architect design, we also need to use the tools to implement. So here, in our company, we use a tool called E-Risk. So for these tools, you draw your diagram, draw your design diagram into the tools, and configure each element. For example, configure a port, configure your database, configure a server, give some parameters. So once you finish, run this, the tools can do automatically assessment. And finally, tell you any risk or any threat for your design. And these tools, it's used by the development teams. It's not only used by the cybersecurity team. So now we shift left to the dev teams for the, we call solution architect, or you can say technical lead, to use this tool to assess that design. So now, I think by you shift left this, now the developer, or we can say the technical lead, when they draw the diagram, then they can see any risk after running the tools. Before, when they draw the diagram, they have to push this to the cybersecurity team. Cybersecurity team do the assessment and forward back to him. So now he can do this, the architect can do this himself. So it's become more efficient and save the cost. Okay, so there's another something we call security champions, security champion program. Before we train everyone, we train all the developers, but we still believe it's not enough. Yeah, so because developer, their major work is still coding, they don't have enough effort, for the cybersecurity. So this is the reason we are thinking to produce some kind of cybersecurity SME, in the teams. So they work as a kind of SME, but they're not a real expert. Because I think after training, they know more than others. For example, they can do this, the security. They can look after the security design. They can look after the security coding. So this is the reason we run this program. We started running the program 2 years ago, and trying to produce this cybersecurity expert at the team level. And also, we give them some responsibilities. So I think there are two major responsibilities. One is this guy, he should look after the cybersecurity in his team, whatever the security coding or security design. He should be the expert in the team. So before, when we development team have cybersecurity issues, all of us that talk to a cybersecurity department. But cybersecurity department, there are limited people there. So the response is very slow. Now we have the people in your team. When you have cybersecurity issue, you talk to this guy. If this guy can't fix the problem, then you can forward to cybersecurity department. So this is the reason we call shift left, right? So we shift left from some simple problem, simple cybersecurity problem, to some dedicated people in the teams. But these people, they should have enough knowledge and skills. This is the reason we provide training to them for them to qualify the security champion. Also, like I mentioned, they should look after the cybersecurity in their own team. They also need to contribute. We also expect them to contribute to our community. In our company, we also have a kind of community. So we have regular sharing and discussions. So you can see some picture, and just take some picture. People share, their knowledge, their experience regarding cybersecurity. For example, how to configure tools well, how to fix this problem well, how to do a design in the right way. And finally, we try to summarize this in a final knowledge database. So next time when you see a problem, you don't need to ask the people randomly. You just go to our knowledge base to find any existing solution already. So this will make the whole process more efficient. Okay, so I think I talked about how we shift left cybersecurity to the development process, and then we further shift left cybersecurity to the design level, and how we can do the threat modeling. Do you remember? I think this is the key part. How you shift left different steps from cybersecurity teams to our dev team for the threat modeling part. Okay, so next, what's the future work? So this picture actually I drew 3 years ago. 3 years ago I drew this picture, but now I just take which I have done. I think the green one is something I have done already. The blue one is something in the progress, and some others. I think just give you some reference. If you like to do some DevSecOps, maybe this is some area you can think in. For example, like currently AI is very popular. So how we can use AI? I also have some teams working on this. How we can use AI to reduce the false positives in the status scan. I think if someone uses the status scan like check marks to do the source code scanning, you will know there are some false positives. This is probably the biggest challenge for this technology. How we can use AI to reduce the false positives? Just give you one example. We can use that to do something. Also, I think so far the cloud security is another big topic. Okay, so this is my last slide. I really like it. So I think, again, we just after this COVID-19 a couple of years. But for our DevSecOps, I think it's a similar concept. Like I mentioned, we should get everyone responsible for this. Similar to this, we needed to vaccine for everyone to protect us from the virus. Okay, so hopefully, finally, I think in the next few years, so everyone in your company, they will have this this vacancy responsible for cybersecurity. Okay, thank you very much. That's my talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Give applause to Mr. Jihai Zhou. Please stay with me here. Oke, sebagai presentasi terakhir kita akan berikan plakat penghargaan. Berikan tepuk tangan Bapak Ibu sekalian. Oke, terima kasih.